Welcome to 2 on 2 podcast. I'm with my man, Bongani.
You know what it is.
Obviously, you know my name, yours truly, Steven. And today, we've got a special guest in the building joining us. So technically, it's going to be a 3 on 3 podcast.
But more like a 2 on 1.
Yeah. This man needs no introduction. If you are a fan of the game of basketball, you know him. And, we're just happy to have him. I'm going to let him introduce himself. Welcome, my man.
Thank you very much. Gosa Hamdulu, aka GH. I think that's all I can say.
Yeah. He's well known for his AKAs more than his actual name. So AKA Mr. GH Hamdulu, welcome, man. And
thank you.
Thanks for accepting our invite to join the podcast today.
Thank you for hosting me.
It has been a few weeks since our last pod.
Mike, episode 5?
Yep.
Episode 5.
What's been going on, sir? You've been...
Well, what's going on right now is that we have our goats in the house. GH, my brother, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
See you. Growing up, idol.
Wow.
Started playing basketball, watching him play. Joining the league, competitor, and it's just wowing, to see how competitive the guy is, even at this moment, because for some of us, we dropped off, but he's still going. He was telling me earlier, he's been playing basketball for a long time, so long that he played against my brothers, played against me, and now, he's alone. He must be lonely. You're very welcome.
You've got your flowers, man.
Thank you.
Receiving your flowers.
Thank you very much for giving them to me whilst I'm here.
Exactly. You don't want to smell your flowers when you're dead on the other side. But man, indeed, you have represented the game so well, and you still do, which is amazing. And I think a great example for young players coming on out there. A lot of things happening in the game of basketball, and we're just going to get into it and talk about some of the things. I think you have been close to the action, what's happening around the leagues.
Around the leagues.
Yeah, man.
Well, around the leagues, there's a lot that's been happening. I think we can go back as far as the Dallas tournament on the Copper Belt.
Okay.
Which featured a number of teams. It's an invitational tournament. Yeah, featured the likes of Lusaka Basket Kings, Material Magic. Were you guys there? You guys were there.
We didn't travel.
Oh, you didn't travel?
Yeah.
But they were invited. Why they didn't travel is another, I guess, discussion. Yeah, but so there was that. And of course, for whatever thing that rises, there's opposition, So there were few people in the game, around the game, questioning why these individuals are, sponsoring such invitational tournaments and not really pushing money into the main leagues, So I don't know what you guys think about it, but I think for me, it's your money. Use it how you want to.
Okay.
And for me, what matters is the game growing out of that. That's what matters for me. So, yeah.
Do you think there's a reason why generally people prefer to put money on a once-off kind of tournament versus, the league in general? What are your thoughts?
I think tournaments are cheaper.
Tournaments are cheaper. Hey?
Tournaments are cheaper. They're shorter. You look at the organization side of it. Like, for example, if we take a case of the Quito Dallas tournament that happened, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You find that I think the time they organized it, it was a weekend tournament.
Yeah.
3-4 days, I think 2-3 days, it was done. People were given their monies cash.
Wow.
Not, where there's bank accounts being asked for and all these monies coming in like, this happens in the league. So I think tournaments are easier to coordinate for the sponsors as well as the people that participate.
Yeah.
And I think I should give a shout out to the Quito Dallas. They've done a very good job.
That was great. Wow.
I think this is the second time they're hosting this tournament.
Yeah.
It's I think they do a very good job organizing the tournament.
That's
the referees are well paid, if not well paid, paid on time.
That's right.
everyone that's contributing to that particular tournament is always on point with it. So I think I should say kudos to those guys.
Shout out Kitwe Madala's job well done.
Yeah, which of course was taken, scooped by Material Magic.
Here we go.
Oh,
Here we go. Yeah, bro. It's hard for me not to do this, man. And just as well, you're on the other side.
mhm.
We've never been on the same team apart from the national team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And bro, I think this guy,
Mhm.
Pinnacle of Zambia basketball, I think I wasn't missing my words, when I said he's a GOAT. Because, you look at a lot of things,
Yeah.
what he did for his club, what he did for the country, and just the impact he's had on Zambia basketball overall. He's impacting his teammates
Yeah.
and also his opposition. He made some of us better than we were. Just by watching him play,
Yeah.
his commitment to the game. Yeah. So kudos again.
Okay. Enough of the pleasantries and being nice to each other. Right now we have Bal coming up, Road to Bal coming up, and obviously we are sending out Material Magic again.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, man? Like, when was the last time you were on one of these entourages, and why are we not seeing Gosa going back to Bal?
Okay, so I've never been to Bal.
Okay.
I think Bal's been running for, is it 4 years, 5 years now?
Yeah.
The first time BAL was brought up, I think Pacers is the one that went. We had won that championship. Then I think Magic went to BAL, then Nali Suns, then Magic again.
Okay.
So I think this is the fourth time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, for me, honestly, going to BAL is a great idea for the players that we have here.
That's right.
The Material Magic players that we have, the likes of Elijah, the likes of Stilo, the likes of AJ, the likes of Sao Piri, and the like, to mention but a few. I think it's a very good place that these guys can actually be exposed, because I know for a fact that Gabe Vincent actually played BAL.
Wow.
He played BAL for him to actually get the contract that he got in the NBA.
Wow.
So I think this is another level of exposure.
Yeah.
And basketball then, when we played it, was not really a sport that would really put food on your table.
Yeah. Exactly.
But now we've got likes of Douglas Kandulu that are earning good monies off basketball. And I think BAL is a very good start for where we are now and where we want to go. And we hope that we can actually get some of the guys from BAL and the sponsors to actually come in and just build a few basketball courts like they're doing in Kenya.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think it's a good opportunity to go there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, man. We've been watching the action. I think what happens in Rwanda, and it has exposed quite a lot of African talent, even to the big leagues, particularly the NBA. Where we've seen some guys actually go either play in the G League or, just get an opportunity to try out for a team. So yeah, that's awesome. The league is currently underway.
Yeah.
And there's a fight going on. I know there's some teams who are represented here that are in the top four. What are you projecting from that? What do you think it's gonna be like? I think there was a game today with the Magic.
Yeah,
and
Magic
they retained their spot on top. Yeah,
they were playing Red Arrows. Yeah, I think it started out tight, as a game. Yeah, but as it progressed on, Magic was able to just
flex
pop up. Yeah.
Okay.
The muscle. Yeah, but I think for Material Magic, it's I think the focus now is this BAL. Whatever they're doing, you could see the strategies from the coaches. They'll play this 5, we'll play that 5. They're trying to see who's going to work with which player.
That's right.
Yeah, so they're trying to find their own team chemistry, go in there. Yeah, but overall, for me, what I'm projecting, it's going to be a tight fight for the top 4. Because we've been saying, everybody's fighting for the top 4 to get a chance at the championship.
That's right.
Everybody wants to go to BAL. Why? Because it's the biggest in finance. It's the biggest in terms of names. It's the biggest in exposure. League. So everybody wants to be at the BAL, and that's what just makes basketball right now come alive. Because back then we had club championships, which has since died down.
Yeah.
Nobody's really nobody wants to like be top two in
Yeah.
the league. You just want top four, win the championship, and get to BL.
Interesting. What are your thoughts, man? I mean, your team is in the mix.
Yeah, I play for Lusaka Basket Kings, by the way. So, what's happening now is that if we've looked at the way the table is, I think Magic should be first.
Yeah.
Before today, I think Lusaka Basket Kings was second, Munali Suns, Bulldogs, and then there's Buffaloes as well. So if you look at these 5 teams, basically these are the teams that are really trying to get into the top 4.
Yeah.
But now, Lusaka Basket Kings was a team in the B League. We all know what happened. That's a story for another day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we all know what happened. So it looks like from time immemorial, maybe in the past 2-3 years,
Yeah.
the teams that have been in the top 4 are basically Magic, Munali Suns, you have Buffaloes,
Yeah.
you have
Maybe NAPSA.
yeah, NAPSA.
Yeah.
But if you've seen the way it is right now,
Yeah.
Magic has 1 loss. The other teams have got four losses. So we don't know who's going to be number 2. We don't know who's going to be number 3 because we still have games to actually get to play.
Yeah.
So it's good for the sport. It's good when it's competitive like this.
Yeah.
So I think each and every time, if you have an opportunity, go to National Sports Development Council, NASDAQ they call it, watch these games as they are very, very competitive.
Sure.
Tell me something though, from your thoughts, like what are some of the reasons? Because you've mentioned like the top 5, and these are the teams that almost year in, year out, we see in the top 5, top 4. What are your thoughts? Like there's teams that have been pushing to come to the top, they make an ascension and then they go back, they descend. Why do you think these teams have kind of remained dominant?
These guys have been consistent. It's plain and simple. I'll give you an example of Buffaloes. Buffaloes is a team that is sponsored by the Zambia Army. These guys have been consistent. Time in memory, these guys have been consistent. You look at guys like Matero Magic. These guys have been consistent. Okay, if that was Pacers then, I know for a fact that Pacers was going to be part of the top 4.
That's right.
All right. So GS.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to bamboozle you with this question, but you're talking of consistency, right?
Yeah.
And to someone who's just listening, what does it entail in basketball?
Okay, so it could be maintaining players. So I'll give you an example of the way Magic is. You've had guys that you've kept for a very long time. You've got my young brother, your captain, Steezy.
Yeah.
You've brought other guys that are very, very competitive in steel. One of the best talents ever that I've seen. The guy is complete on everything. Then you have other teams like Buffaloes.
Right.
You have guys like my nemesis, Thomas Mabaso.
Yeah.
Those guys have been consistent. The way they work, the way they push everything. They've maintained their teams. Okay, I'll give you another example of Munali Suns.
Okay.
Munali Suns has not really lost a lot of players. They've been consistent. You've got the likes of Muzo.
They've kept
You've got the likes of Timothy. You've got the likes of other players that have actually started playing for that team
Titus.
when it started. Titus. But then you have other teams, sorry to mention, like NAPSA Hurricanes, that has had good teams. I don't really know what happens. I don't know if it's a management issue.
You should know though. You've been part of the organization.
I don't know because people opt to leave.
Yeah.
Okay. So for example, now you have a different set of guys altogether that have to get the chemistry going.
Once
and
again.
chemistry is not gained
Right there and there.
during the season and not right there and then.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to be consistent. You need to practice a little bit more with these guys. So looking at how things are right now, Candy just moved there. One of the best shooters that we have. Played with a guy in the national team, a very close friend of mine.
Yeah.
He's a guy that is going to put up points for you guys. And then if he leaves, who's going to replace Candy? It's difficult. So it's like they're always rebuilding. But if you have a consistent team that is together for a long time, the chemistry is absolutely
Another level. And I think, you spoke of having a culture.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can actually build a culture.
Yeah.
When you have a certain crop of players, who are examples in the team.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to replace those, you got to find the same people with the right character, to match those, for you to actually build a culture.
Yeah.
And that's what's been lacking, I feel, for the likes of NAPSA Hurricanes. It came close to winning the champ. That time they just dipped. Just like you said, people opting to
Leave the club.
Yeah, I've been a critic on our previous episodes of NAPA.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you guys are keeping it. It's not hate, I think, like you said, man, the consistency.
Yeah.
And we see it in the teams that stay consistent and how they, develop. And I think they've been successful, at least relatively successful, and they stay in the top, and they have a chance to, win a championship or go to represent the country at the highest level.
And maybe what also maybe frustrates onlookers like us is NAPSA is not just, a team being sponsored by just anybody. It's NAPSA.
Exactly.
So they have a proper sports structure because they have a football team as well.
Yeah.
Okay, which is performing well in the Super League.
Yeah.
So you'd actually expect NAPSA to be one of the, top flies in the league. He mentioned Buffalo's being led by Zambia Army. So those teams are the ones that I expected actually to be pushing, maybe top 2.
That's right. I feel you and I agree. So NAPSA, the challenge continues. We have high expectations for you. So we got to figure out how that system works together to become as successful as some of these other teams that we have mentioned today. Now, I'm going to talk about something. There's been a lot of prevailing stories in the last couple of weeks, around basketball in Zambia, stories that don't even concern the game itself. He said, she said, he did, they did. And, I have a feeling, I challenged someone who I know is, in circles of administration. And I said, look, why is it that the league is not getting in front of some of these stories or, being first to bring them to the fore or, just putting together like a public relations machine that can help to counter some of these arguments? I mean, I might go into the details or not, but I think you guys have an idea of what I'm talking about. What are your thoughts in terms of how we are disseminating information in basketball? Because there's a whole community that is actively following the game. Are we getting information when we need to get it from the people in administration? What do we need to do? What do you guys think about what's going on? GH.
I'll pass it on to my young brother.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you said it all. I mean, it's PR is important for any organization to go forward. It's all about how people hear your story, and we have a growing sport in basketball. People want to help, but then they don't know what basketball is all about.
Yeah.
They don't know the structure. They don't know where they are found. They don't know about the offices.
Yeah.
They don't know about. So it's a lot of things that go into people's minds, when they hear you're lobbying for fans, for example, but who are we giving them to?
Yeah.
So it cannot be overstated. The PR has to be on point. It has to be revamped if it was ever there.
Yeah.
You talked about issues, that have come up in the past few weeks. Yeah. Some issues are actually damaging, to the whole organization, to the whole sport of basketball.
That's right.
Because there's I don't know if I'm the one who's supposed to bring this up, but there's issues of sexual harassment that's lingering around. And
really?
Yeah,
he just
that
threw me under the bus.
Yeah, that actually was on the news the other time.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, so it is such news now that gets to people's ears, and then if that's the news that people are gonna know about basketball, from then it's all distorted.
Yeah.
Your goodwill for basketball is gone if this is not taken care of. So PR has to be on point. They gotta come forward and they gotta state, what measures they're taking. Maybe, if it is true what they're doing about, the perps, if there's any perpetrator, because I mean the gun has been pointed at us. It's us, the basketball community, to dodge it, or to just let it shoot you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I mean, I agree. It's get ahead of the story is number one. I actually challenged someone, and I want to challenge or ZBF or MB as we're sitting here.
Right.
One of the things I think the administration should think about is maybe hosting a town hall one of these days. You guys might agree with me or not, but I feel a town hall is such a great place to get stakeholders together, have an opportunity to interact, whether it's questions that they can ask, that administration can respond to. I don't know if we have the time, maybe have the media there, but just kind of like a press release. We've seen that happen even at the highest form of government, where the president will host a press briefing when there's certain things that are happening in the nation and there's speculation going on. But to just reassure the citizens that the government is aware and is doing something about it. So in this case, we've got all these stories that have been coming up, and I think, like you said, they're very detrimental to the game of basketball. And I think all of us we want to see the game go forward. We want to see it advance. So if we have all these stories, divergent views going on, I think that's not healthy for the game. So ZBF, MBA, please consider hosting a press release or hosting a town hall.
Yeah.
Get us there, get a few people who you think are key stakeholders, give us an opportunity to ask the questions. I think that would be a great platform to just really dispel some of these rumors.
Yeah, but Steve, what's happening most of the time, I think, is that there's too many assumptions.
That's right.
So if you have people that have so many assumptions around the rules, regulations, what should happen where, how it should be done, people will not know exactly how it's supposed to be run.
That's right.
So if we have a town hall like you're suggesting, where people are able to ask questions and these questions are answered.
That's right.
Whether satisfactory or not, but at least something would have been brought up.
That's right.
Then those assumptions are put to bed. But if we don't avail ourselves as ZBF, MBA, to actually answer some of these questions, all these rumors will continue going back and forth.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the biggest concern. So we got to get ahead of the story, man. We got to get ahead of the story.
And I think in the same light, I think the Zambia National Basketball Coaches Association did issue a statement regarding the same
Sexual harassment.
Yeah, sexual harassment. Well, to them, it's a story that just hit them.
Yeah.
They're neither denying nor admitting to the fact because they're no fact.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're saying they're going to do an investigation, and
I saw a comment. Now that you say that, someone asked a question and said, the Coaches Association is going to investigate themselves.
Which doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, right?
No.
No, it would make sense if they're in denial because they know they've set their rules.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's come, it slapped them in the face. They don't know what hit them. So they have to, have a check, a self-check.
Are we confident that they'll be objective to investigate?
I don't agree with you, Bongani. You can't audit yourself.
No. It's your house.
Yeah.
They're trying to put their house in order, right? There has to be a separate body. I agree.
Yeah.
There has to be a separate body to run the investigation. Yes. But they also have to do a self-check. I mean, if you have principles which you've laid down for everybody else in your house to follow, and there's allegations, one of them is not following, it's also your responsibility to find out who is doing that.
I agree on that.
Yeah. So
I think, we hope that there will be a resolution to this issue. I don't know if there's laid out procedure of how these things are done or how people are disciplined if found wanting, but it would be nice to know. And I think those are things, like we are saying, information that we don't really have access to. But if, there was ways that this information is shared openly and easily accessible, we would really have an idea on what the process is. Right now, we're just speculating. We don't know what's going to happen.
True.
So the Coaches Association has issued a statement. I think there was a statement from the MBA as well. Is it the ZBF? I think I might have seen something. I could be wrong. But so, there's an investigation going on. So we hope that there will be an end to this and something will come up to just, tell us a little more of what's happening.
But what do you think, Judge? I mean, you've been in the game over 25 years.
I'm not that old.
Bro, you're old.
I've been in the Super League since 2007. Actually, no, I've been in the Super League since 2005.
Wow, man.
Listen to that.
Yeah. But when it comes to some of these things, I wouldn't really point out a person and say, oh, this is a person that's saying, because I think where it came from is something to do with playtime. I read something like playtime.
Yeah.
I don't really think we're pro league to actually tell a person, oh, if you don't, give me this, you won't get to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm of the view that we're a developmental league. And these are some of the things that are not even supposed to pop up.
I agree.
Because, now I know when we were playing basketball, it was purely passion.
Just passion.
Now there are offers based, this and that and that. Maybe that's where it's coming from. But in like time immemorial, like I stated earlier, I've never heard of anything like this. Where a player is being told, if you don't actually give me this favor, you're not going to play. It's something that is killing the game.
Yeah.
Because we've taken so much time to actually get to grow the game to a certain point where we are now.
Yeah.
So, but we also don't know. Is it consensual?
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Because all those things get to come into play, but we don't want to dive into that.
And that's why I'm saying I do hope there's like proper channels of investigating this, because those are serious accusations.
Yeah.
So we hope that it's an objective kind of investigation and not an investigation that assumes that one party is guilty and we're just going to go there and expose this party that is guilty. However, if you are a coach and you have been asking for sexual favors to give people playtime, when we know you, we will come for you and mention you here on the podcast.
We're making the face?
Yes.
Making the face of the podcast.
Exactly. Yeah.
True podcast.
But to say something though on the issue, I think before we move on to the next topic, I'm also hoping that we don't have a scenario where our own coaches, because they don't like each other or whatever it is,
pointing fingers at each other.
are pointing fingers at each other. Yeah. Because then we're killing each other. We're killing ourselves.
Absolutely.
Because remember, we are now taking teams to BAL. They are like for Material Magic right now. There are other key sponsors that are coming in. Zambif is coming.
Yeah. So
if they hear things like this, are we killing ourselves and shooting ourselves in the foot?
Exactly.
These are some of the things that we need to ask ourselves.
Absolutely.
So moving to the same, or moving away now from the sexual harassment issue.
Yeah.
Maybe what we need to do is, sit down as an organization and look at some of these accusations. It might have come from one of the coaches.
That's true.
It might have come from one of the players. But all we know is that this is an allegation that's out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like I said it or you said it or Mongani said it. It's something that is pretty big. It was on one of the leading television networks that we have. So,
and actually, it's very interesting when you think about it, because this thing went straight to the media. Yeah. So, what was the intention of the person who was,
and the timing of
this story? Yeah.
You
know what I mean? Straight to the media. Why wasn't it raised within, the basketball circles or, within the channels before it went out to the media? So it was like everybody was kind of caught off guard, which is very strange and doesn't really seem like it was a genuine. But I mean, that's just me looking in and, I've got opinions, but, at the end of the day, I might be wrong and I could be wrong. So,
we remain open. I mean, we just trying to push the right... we're doing the PR right
Absolutely.
now. PR. So we're just trying to give out the knowledge however we get it.
Yeah.
So
ZBF, reach out to us, pay us something for this free PR that we're doing, publicity around this.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, we can go on and talk basketball day. We are all lovers of the game of basketball. I think, internationally now the NBA is about to come back. Preseason games, we're getting a bit of a taste of what's going to be coming.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about that. Who are you rooting for? Who's your...
Before you actually get to the NBA, there's something very interesting happening right now. We're in the WNBA finals.
Now listen to this guy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's something that we should actually be.
Ladies, forgive me.
As well.
Forgive me, ladies. Forgive me. Yeah. So WNBA
finals. I think New York Liberty.
Yeah.
Is playing Minnesota Lynx.
Yes, the Lynx.
And Lynx are actually up 1-0. It's a very interesting game.
Indeed.
What's her name again? Onescu, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That lady. She's playing for the Liberty. She's playing very well.
Yeah.
She's playing very well.
From there.
I don't watch highlights.
You watch entire?
I watch full games.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if our ladies are able to actually watch some of that basketball that is played there, because I know the NBA has got this huge following that everybody else has, but we can actually emulate from the WNBA as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree, man.
No,
I
that
agree.
is-
I haven't caught any of the final games, so that's why I'm not speaking on it. Yeah, I've seen a bit of
Essentially.
what's going on. So yeah, again, I can't speak on highlights, like you say. You gotta watch the game to have real context, you know. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up. WNBA is on, so let's all tune in, see what's happening. I mean, especially as we build up to the NBA, the men's basketball league. So I think that's something that is pretty excited. What are you looking forward to this week? Just generally, as we wrap up today's episode, what's on your mind? What are you looking forward to?
It's on my mind, ish. I mean, I'm just looking forward to seeing how everything else pans out in the league.
Yeah,
You know, I'm not sure when the Buffalo's team is coming back, but they're out. Having gone out for training.
They're back now.
They're back now. So
They're playing at 6 today.
it's on, so we can catch. It's a game to catch.
So I think that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure how this impacts a sportsman. Every time we're gearing up for a game, we're focused on the game.
Yeah.
We're doing everything basketball.
Yeah.
And then you get to be put out, to do national duty. That training. It will be interesting to see why, because, like he mentioned, they are number 2.
That's right.
Given that they have games in hand. So now it will give a twist, to who's number 2 eventually.
Yeah.
Because of course you have Kings there,
Yeah,
you have Bulldogs,
Dogs.
who have fallen a bit. Yeah, but yeah, they've been a revelation for me.
yeah.
They've been a team to watch. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to Buffaloes, seeing how they perform.
Nice.
Looking forward to this weekend or this week coming.
Yeah, this weekend. We
Okay.
can start there.
Yeah, I've got my own personal life to deal with. When it comes to this weekend,
Yeah.
I just recently got some information about something that made me really happy yesterday,
Okay.
with regards to fiance and stuff like that.
He's getting married.
Not yet. Not yet, but
Yes,
Yeah. You heard it here first.
And my suit has
Yeah.
been waiting in the
But
closet
not
a long
yet,
time.
but she actually cleared all her
Courses.
courses. So she's getting into 7th year. She's starting to be a medical doctor. So that's made me happy. What
Congratulations.
I'm looking forward to
That's huge.
in this coming week is how, Magic gets to navigate around BAL.
Yeah.
I know for a fact there are a couple of guys that have come in.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see how these guys are going to, coordinate, fit in, and because I'm a huge fan of Zambia when they're actually playing out there.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like that's me.
Yeah.
So I know how it feels when you're out there. Just the support and everything else that you get from home.
Yeah.
Really pushes you forward. So I'm rooting for Magic. I'm trying to see how these guys are going to coordinate the new guys that have come in today and how they'll be able to practice. I think I'll actually attend 2-3 practice sessions just to watch and learn. Because as you know, you may have played for a very long time, but learning.
Yeah.
So
Continuous
we
learning.
hope to see how
Awesome. I think I'm also looking forward to that. I need a plug for a jersey, bro. So
Bro.
please hook
You're
the brother
looking
up.
at him.
Yes. I'm gonna get one of those. But yeah, Mr. GH, thank you for joining us on the pod.
Okay, man.
At
Thanks
least
very
you
much.
got your flowers from my boy today.
Finally.
Yes.
Finally. No, I couldn't say it. I mean, I'm facing you.
Thank you very much.
Facing you. I couldn't
Thank
say
you
it.
very much.
Yeah, and last, for me, get yourself a jersey. It's just 1,000 kwacha, very cheap.
Yeah.
This is not just for material. This is for the country. Like everybody's saying, our boys are going out there to try to get into the BL finally. And they can't do without
This
your
is the
support.
best prepared they've been, I think.
Yeah, I
Do you
think so
think?
too.
Yeah.
I think so too. I mean, experience is the best teachers.
Yeah.
Looking at how many times we've gone there, how many times we've been kicked back, I think we've learned one thing or two. Yeah, and looking forward to a happy time. Like Gia said, it's going to be, the trick is in how the new players, the additions gel up with the rest of the team.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that, and
I think nothing more to say, but just it's been 2 on 2 podcast. I'm your host, Steve.
this is Bo, and that's GH.